Okay guys, in the video that released today, I was talking about this BTT smart filament sensor. It's an unmitigated pile of feces. It's the worst. And I got a lot of very unfair comments saying I should have RTFM, that it's my fault for plugging this thing in incorrectly, which burned it up. And I'm the one to blame. BTT makes a great product here, and I'm wrong. Okay, let's look at this. This is a $1.60. Is what I paid for this optical filament switch. This right here is the PCB out of the BTT sensor. There's a light and there's the receiver. There's a light, there's a receiver. More or less, this is the same as this. There's only one key difference between these two circuit boards, and that is that microchip right there. Turns out it's a single Schmidt trigger inverter from Texas Instruments, and I can purchase it right here on the DigiKey website for 32 cents. While we are looking up electrical components here on eBay, we can see I can buy 10 pieces for $1.61 of these 3.3 volt diodes. Now, for those of you who don't know about electronics, a diode is basically a one-way valve. So with two of these, it would not be possible for me to backfeed the 5 volts in the wrong direction. I could put one of these diodes on each of those other two leads. So the signal and the ground lead, which would make electricity only able to flow out of those two leads. You would never be able to feed 5 volts onto this board and fry it. So $1.16 a piece, that's my cost. So in China, they can probably get these for like 3 cents a piece. Mostly this is the same. There's like 5 resistors and 2 capacitors on this board other than the microchip. So there's really no reason why this should cost $15 when this costs $1.60. This is a complete and total ripoff. Look, there's a status LED, so we know when this thing is receiving power. There's no status LED on this one, so we have no idea if it's on or not. Now, when I activate this end stops, which you will see the light here on the control board turn on and off, and this board, this switch here, also running on 3.3 volt logic, which is the lowest voltage that you can pull off of these control boards for 3D printers. Now, of course, internal components on the control boards run at much lower voltages, but as far as like easily being able to pull voltage off the board, 3.3 volts is the lowest you can go. So these 3 wires here, power, ground, and signal, red being power, black being ground, white in this case being signal. Now, red being power, black being ground, everybody on the whole planet who's ever touched electronics for 5 seconds knows that power is red and ground is black. Okay, so let's look at the wiring here for the BTT. This is the BTT control board, right? The wiring that came on this has 3 different markings, one of which has a bunch of plus signs on it. Well, that would seem to indicate power. One of which is sort of long dashes. I wonder what that one could mean. I really don't know. And one of them is just black. It's just black. So it's obvious, power with the pluses, ground with the black. Well, the first guy who posted that I should have RTFM helpfully provided the manual on GitHub. So looking through that manual, I found this picture which shows us that the wires here are ground signal voltage. In the case here, the plus signs are the ground, and the black wire here is the voltage. Even the wires on this thing don't make any sense. They're different. These wires are labeled differently than the ones in the picture, and the ones in the picture have a negative on the voltage. I mean, I'd like to say that they're trying to mess the customer up, but never attribute to malice what can be explained with ineptitude. By the way, this graphic here on the manual is just one single little picture in this long line of manual. Nowhere else in this does it show you that key information. I would say that's probably the most important information to be displayed in this whole manual, and it's just this one little picture. Okay, back to this switch. Let's see if we can burn it up, shall we? Signal doesn't have to plug into anything. That's the signal coming out of the sensor. So let's just try, plugging these things in wrong. Let's just plug them in here. All right, I'm pretty sure that I covered every single possible combination there. So let's plug this in correctly one more time. And we can see the light back on the sensor, and hey, look, it works fantastically. That's how you make electronics for the end consumer. Oh, hey, there's one more detail. Look, voltage, signal, ground, labeled on the PCB. Here's our $15 PCB with no markings except, oh, they got to put their name on it, Big Tree Tech. They got to let you know that this piece of feces is theirs. They made it. They didn't just hire out somebody else to make it. Look, there's even silk screening around the microchip here on the other side. They easily could have marked these wires in this same fashion here. By the way, looking at the box, looking inside the box, there's no manual. There's no pinout diagram. There's nothing. There's just a sensor. But it gets even better than that, you guys, because I was looking at this encoder wheel, and this thing basically is meant to break the light stream. You can see there's holes, so it goes, it lets the light through, then it blocks it, then it lets the light through, then it blocks it. And this thing is a pretty stalwart metal wheel with a rubber tire around the whole thing. It's a thick rubber tire. Why would they need such a thick rubber tire? And as I was touching it, it occurred to me, that's a mouse scroll wheel for your finger. That whole rubber on there, this has been repurposed. This is not purpose-built for this, this specific application. So they are repurposing very inexpensive hardware and probably, I would say, $2, maybe $2, not even, probably $1.50 worth of materials in this, and they're selling to us for $15. So let's just assume $2. That means 7.5 times, so 750% markup that they're getting out of us for this hunk of junk. And yet it's my fault for plugging it in wrong, right? My fault. And you know what? I plugged it in wrong because I'm used to this switch. It doesn't matter how you get it. You can get it, just keep trying the different combinations until it works. And I assumed that for $15, it was going to be, idiot proof in the same way. So instead of being extra super careful, and going online and looking for the manual, I just assumed that they would make it so that I could try it out until it worked. And they didn't. They let me down. But what's to be, that's to be expected. That's the way China does it. So this is going to be version 1. I guarantee we're going to see version 2 or 3 coming out now, maybe from a different brand name, but there'll be a better version of this now coming out soon enough. This is how China does it. They release a crap product, just the very first version that works, right? It's barely out of beta test. It's usually a beta test mode. They make everybody buy it, and then they get the complaints from everybody. Then they use those complaints to make a better version. Well, with this product, unfortunately, all of the reviews are so good that it was probably going to be a long time until we saw version 2, which is why I make negative videos, putting pressure on China to give us better stuff. But you know what? You guys think that this is fair game for, you can criticize me now because I'm criticizing these guys for overcharging me for a crap product. So why does me pointing out what they've done wrong make me a target? How is that fair? Speaking of which, let's highlight some of the mean things that have been said about me in recent times. Now, fair warning, this marks the end of the technical content in this video. There will maybe be a snippet here or there, but the video is now going to change into sort of what other people like to label as drama. I don't like that term, but hey, let's go with it. And so yeah, you've been warned. Nobody can leave a comment saying, I didn't sign up for all this drama. Just stop watching right now. Okay, so Nero 3DP, this guy, I really like what he does. Very talented. Go check him out, subscribe to his channel. He doesn't have many subscribers, mostly because he just releases live videos. This live video here was a pretty good one, and I watched it because I need pushback, and I need to either have my things that I'm saying validated or disproven. I am a critic. I am criticizing the products being made by China, and so that's their feedback so that they can improve it. I'm looking for the same kind of feedback from external sources. So Nero here, basically reviewing the same product that I'm in love with. That would be the BQ-H2 extruder. Fantastic product. And watch the video why I think it's so great. I'll put that in the description. So he didn't have a great first impression of it, and this was his second impression. So I really watched this video to see if he came to the same conclusions as me. And while I was watching this video, I noticed that some people were talking about me. So starting off here with this guy who is just kind of making a legitimate point that I said I really liked the H2 extruder. Say, fair enough. I did say that. He's not mean. These next guys are though. This green green avatar guy. I'm covering up their usernames because I don't want to give them the publicity or shame them if they're not, they're maybe just having an off day and they're just thinking I'm not going to see this content or something. But so here we got green avatar guy. He says, I tend to really dislike the guy. That would be me. And then this avatar with the hand being held up here says, never give DPT views. So he's just against me. See, team, it's a team sport. You got to be against me. I'm the opposite team. And therefore you cannot support me or watch a single one of my videos because I have nothing valid to say. Okay. So the next page here, this is where we get into the meat of it. When doesn't DPT have issues? That's what we're seeing right here in this. I've got it circled. The TPT guy has some bad takes and a vindictive attitude. I'm vindictive. DPT has some issues. There's more drama than 3D printing content recently. I found that the stuff on the Prusa was a little bit wearing from DPT, and YouTube insists on recommending it to me constantly. Listen, that's not an excuse. You can't say YouTube made me watch it. There's 3 little buttons that you can press and you can literally say, don't recommend, and you'll never see my channel again. It's easy, easy, easy to make me go away on YouTube. So don't be talking about me on somebody else's video like you're being forced to watch my stuff. Okay. The stuff on Prusa, I would love to never, ever in my whole life talk about or think about Joseph Prusa or Prusa Research or whatever that entity is. Okay. Mostly a guy who wears a t-shirt that says I'm better than all of you guys because I'm a 3D printer. That's literally what his t-shirt says. So we have a guy wearing his ego on his shirt who runs an organization that at this point in time makes most of its money selling you filament because you're a fanboy and you think that you get a sense of belonging because that's your team. So yeah, I'm seeing no innovation, no reason to talk about that company or that guy. I just don't. But I keep having to bring him up because there are rabid fanboys and sock puppets who attack me. There's no doubt that there is a contingent of people or fake people that are out to get me from the Prusa camp. You can't doubt that. So maybe this guy is one of them. I found the DP. So he's hating on me because I hate on Prusa, and I hate on Prusa because Prusa hates on me. So we got a nice, Capulets and Montagues thing going on here. What's the one? The McCoys and the somebody else. We got a nice circular feud going on. But it's just like, I don't know, the vindictive attitude. What? What am I vindictive about? Let me think about that for a second. The only thing I can come up with is way back in the day, my very first video where I was ever critical of Prusa. And by the way, at this point in time, nobody dared to say a bad thing about Prusa. Nobody. He was the darling of the 3D printer community. And I was the one who dared to cross over the line into criticism of that company. And I still maintain to this day that it's most likely he got the idea to put a temperature probe into his Pinda probe so that he could compensate for the sensor drift with temperature. I think that he most likely got that idea from my video. Not that I originally came up with the idea, even though I independently sort of diagnosed that issue. So I reached out to Prusa and asked for a printer. Again, remember, this was 3 years ago when everybody loved Prusa, and I just wanted to be a part of that action. And hey, I figured I'd help them out with making the printer better. Why not send me a printer? I get so many printers from China. Why can't I be part of the Prusa team too? I really did. I wanted to be a fanboy for Prusa. I wanted to love them and to say good things about the printer. And instead, I just got a no. You're not getting a printer. And so I made the video, and I basically said, Chinese companies give me printers. And I looked at the camera like that. I was like, but they give me printers, kind of indicating that, and I know how that comes off, and it was a bad communication on my part. It comes off as me being on Team China versus Team Prusa because China is giving me printers. That's not what I meant. And if you go watch the video, I meant it as a warning that China's going to eat your lunch, Prusa, because China is developing a lot of goodwill with other makers, people making videos, and like keep in mind at this point in time, Teaching Tech wasn't even on YouTube yet, right? And so look at Teaching Tech's channel, 99% about Chinese printers, right? All these products that are given to all the reviewers from China. Why wouldn't Prusa give out printers? that was my point, that they're going to lose the game because China's giving away products to people for reviews, for the sake of reviews. So I can see how somebody would take that as vindictive, not vindictive, meant to be a warning. I don't even understand how there can even be drama in 3D printing. How does DPT manage to stir drama in a community of people who just like to make benchies? Come on. You don't understand. It's not a community, first of all. That makes me think that you're a Prusa fanboy. Second of all, benchies are stupid, and everybody who's halfway good at 3D printing doesn't like them. They don't float, and we're sick and tired of them. But that benchy is largely the standard, again, because of Prusa, popularized because of Prusa. So most people I think that watch my channel are technical. They think they might start a printer farm. They're really looking for reviews to see when is the time to buy a printer. And so I think you've miscategorized the community there, the hobby, the people in the hobby. But yeah, see, this is it borders on slander. It's like, you're making drama. Talking about me in a video that has nothing to do with me. And here you are talking about how I make drama. You love the drama. You love this. You're probably watching this video going, oh, he mentioned my comment, right? Like, that's why you have the drama, because this is what you want. He is constantly accusing products of cloning, and he just hates the Chinese. Oh my God. You, green avatar, are definitely a Chinese nationalist. With that comment, I can guarantee it. So Chinese nationals have a lot of pride in China. I don't fault you. Like I've said before, I was in the United States military. I have a lot of pride in my country as well. And that does not mean my government. So don't think I'm political there. The USA, I'm not a proud boy. I served my country. I don't have a political party that I belong to, but I love the United States. And so I don't blame you for loving your country, but you're not allowed to be on YouTube. Did you know that? Did you know that using that firewall, VPN thing to get around the Great Firewall of China is illegal, and you're not supposed to be here? And as far as I hate the Chinese, I made a whole video about this. Go watch it. Link in the description. They're just trying to slander me and make me look like a racist. But it's more racist to make me look like a racist, to be Chinese and try to make this a racial issue. I don't hate the Chinese. I criticize Chinese companies. I've never criticized a people based on the color of their skin or some other facial feature or something like that. So it's just ludicrous to say to insinuate that I'm racist. And speaking of that, you Chinese nationals can chill with coming after me because I dare to criticize companies that come from your country. Look, here's BQ. They love me. They love my review, right? That's a very positive comment left on the my video here about the BQ H2 extruder. So they are addressing the gears, right? I had problems with the gears. They're addressing that issue. They're not accusing me of manufacturing some problem that doesn't really exist with their product. They're just saying, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We'll try to make the gears better next time. Awesome. I love BQ even more now. What a great company this is seeming like, right? So when your companies appreciate what I'm doing here by providing criticism to help these companies make the products better, it does not give you the right to come and accuse me of a personality defect, namely racism, right? Just knock it off. Okay, let's get to the actual comments on the last video I made about the Big Tree Tech Smart Filament Sensor. Starting with the comment that I pinned to the top because I wanted people to see the other side of the discussion. Like I said, I rely on good pushback, legitimate pushback, pointing out things that I missed or agreeing with me in ways that I might not have seen, just sort of proving my points in some other way. Really, really appreciate those kinds of comments. So this guy was like RTFM, which is a little bit rude, but okay, fair enough. I don't know why it didn't occur to me. I was just kind of in a hurry, and I'm used to being able to plug 3-volt wires in any which way until it works. So it didn't occur to me to hold up, stop. Before you even start to plug in a tiny little sensor, you better go find a manual on some website that's not even the Big Tree Tech website. It's over on GitHub. You better go find the manual so that you can make sure that you've got this wired up rightly. Like, that just seems above and beyond, but hey, you know what? Kind of fair in a small way. So RTFM, but all the points I made in this video, why it really is on Big Tree Tech and not on me for not RTFMing. Now this guy says that I'm deflecting because I'm blaming Big Tree Tech for making a product that I could easily break when it was my responsibility and I should have read the manual. But they didn't include a manual in the box, and he calls me an egotist. Man your ego. Like, so basically, if you accuse anybody of anything, right? If you were externally critical of anything else in the whole wide world, you're an egotist. That doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't. I think I might have rubbed some people the wrong way at the beginning of this video here, the one from today, right? Well, this will be yesterday for you guys, but I started off this video giving my credentials as far as industrial design goes. And the reason I did that is because if I don't give my credentials and I just start criticizing, I inevitably get some comment like, who are you to be criticizing? If it's so easy, why don't you just go make it, right? It's like, so you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If I list my credentials, I'm an egotist who thinks he's better than everybody else. And if I don't list my credentials, then I'm a nobody who doesn't know how to make stuff, and my criticisms aren't valid. So either way, people are trying to say my criticisms aren't valid. And the fact is, every criticism I've thrown at this Big Tree Tech smart filament detector is completely valid. It really is. These are valid points that I'm making, and the discussion gets turned to me and my feelings. Oh, you're an egotist. It was your fault for not RTFM. So yeah, there's a lot of comments on this video. Some of them are unfair. Some of them are in support of me. And I really appreciate you guys who, even if you support me, who give me some good pushback, good feedback, because I rely on that. This isn't just me standing up here and talking to you guys. I do read your comments and rely on the conversation. It's not a one-way lecture, you guys. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.